Hello again, Luke the Geek of Steel here, and this is my video about my 2018. At the beginning of the year, I promised myself that I would try and say yes to every opportunity that came my way, and I wanted to work hard at being the best blogger that I could be. I really enjoy sharing my passions, whether it be Superman, comics, films, or anything that gives me and other people happiness. Whenever I go on an adventure, I pop it into my blog Daily Planet journal. Recently, I've been going back and reading through my entries, and I can't believe most of the things that I've done this year. And this video will be a sort of highlight reel of my adventures from this year. Adventure number one for me was back in February, where I found out that there would be a DC exhibition happening in London, where a lot of Superman suits and superhero suits from the DC Comics movies would be on show. I got in touch with the company, explained, look, this is a fantastic exhibition. I want the country and the world to know about it. I booked my tickets for the opening night a few weeks in advance, and I started helping promote the event with videos and photographs and articles. I packed a bag, I travelled to London, and I was very nervous and very excited as I was going to see the costumes that I had seen hundreds of times on the television and the movie screen. The exhibition was phenomenal. There was artwork, comics, props, costumes, and throughout the summer, I've probably visited around 10 times, if not more. And the final day I went was quite an emotional day, as I didn't want to say goodbye to these costumes. Standing inches away from the costumes that I've seen so many times was a very special moment for me, and I'm so happy that I got to help to promote that event. And also, my name, the Geek of Steel, was on the back of their leaflets, so that was a big moment for me as well. My very first day going to the exhibition, I went in the morning, I went in the evening, but during the day I got an invite to go to the Funko Europe offices. I got to see walls and walls filled with Funko Pops. I got to see their offices, and I got to see prototypes, and I got to see lots and lots of exciting things. The next day, I was getting my train back home when I got a phone call from the exhibition asking if I would like to go back and be interviewed for a news channel. Now, the biggest bonus about this was that I was able to go back and see the costumes again. Over the year, I've been to London quite a few times, and each time I went back, I tried to squeeze in another visit to the exhibition. I don't know if I'll ever get to see those again, so I wanted to make sure that I spent as much time with them as possible. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of photographs that I will always look back on with happy memories. My next adventure of 2018 was to go and see a multimedia screening of Ready Player One. Fantastic film. I mean, it was very different to the book. It was still a very entertaining and exciting movie. And it was introduced by Steven Spielberg, the man who pretty much directed my childhood. To be in the same room as such a magnificent director was definitely a memorable moment. My first Comic-Con of the year was in my hometown. As soon as I found out that we would be having our very own con, I got in touch and said, look, I want to help promote this. I want to help out as much as I can because I want Portsmouth to have a con every year. For a first time event, it was fantastic. They had some really big names turn up. There was a Superman exhibition, lots of traders, a fantastic cosplay competition. I also got to meet Frank Quitely, who did the fantastic artwork for All-Star Superman. Had a very nice chat with him, gave him a thank you letter, simply stating how much I appreciate his artwork and what that book means to me. Something else that happened in 2018 was that Action Comics released its 1000th issue. I planned many ways to help celebrate this occasion. I made videos, I photographed some of my Action Comics collection, and DC Comics got in touch. Even to be emailed by DC Comics was a huge deal for me. I've grown up with DC Comics, reading DC Comics and watching DC Comics movies. So for them to reach out to me was a moment where I had to sort of pinch myself. In the box was a magnificent book, a copy of Action Comics 1000, and also some Superman shorts, some trunks. They made a return this year. So it was a very fun video, And I was very grateful to DC Comics for sending me that. Soon, June was here, and it was time for my biggest adventure to date. I packed my bags, my passport, and my Funkos and headed off to the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. I've known about this celebration for many years and I've always wanted to go. My biggest regret is that I didn't go sooner. The celebration was everything I hoped it would be. The museum was just out of this world. The amount of merchandise and cinema and Superman history on display was a joy to go around and study. And the celebration was equally as exciting. I got to meet some of you, which was amazing. I got to meet Brandon Ruth. I was very nervous to meet him, but he was so nice, so friendly and charming and polite. He was Clark Kent. He signed my Metropolis license plate. I was also sworn in as an honorary citizen by Mayor Billy. I stood in front of the huge Superman statue and pledged my allegiance and became a citizen. It was a truly magical place. Every memory I have of that super holiday makes me smile. I feel truly blessed to have gone there. If you ever get the opportunity to visit Metropolis or go to the Superman celebration, I cannot recommend it enough. It truly was my biggest adventure to date. The people that live in Metropolis make that whole town super. Every single person I met was a joy to interact with. So friendly, so welcoming, and just really good people. Who knows, maybe one day I will move to Metropolis. That would be fun. I came back to England and I was already missing Metropolis, but I had to plan my next adventure. And this was the London Film and Comic Con, which was in July. Tom Welling was going to be there, John Schneider was going to be there, and Zachary Levi was going to be there. 3 people I had to meet. Smallville still is my favourite television show, and I will always hold on to Smallville and the memories I made from that weekend. Zachary Levi was so much fun. I went for his photo shoot and then queued up for his autograph and gave him a little Shazam toy, which he photographed and put onto Instagram. That was fun to see my little gift on his page. Hopefully it gave him some happiness, because that is the key to my existence on social media, is to make other people happy. Meeting him and giving him that toy, that was a fun memory. And yes, we got a photograph and he signed a few items as well, so that was awesome. London Film and Comic Con, you did very well. How's about, as a little suggestion, you try and get Henry Cavill for next year, because I think you might get a few people booking tickets for that. Another event which happened in the summer was that I got to work on another event for Warner Brothers UK. And this time I had an assistant, and this was one of my nieces of steel. We promoted the movie by making a video of us destroying a piñata. I had a lot of fun making that, and so did my niece. But what was really cool is that I got to take my niece of steel as a +1 to the multimedia screening in London, and we had an amazing time. We got to meet the Teen Titans and we watched the movie on a massive screen in a cinema that was just filled with families, and everyone was laughing. I loved that film. The artwork, the jokes, the references were just hilarious, and it was just a very entertaining movie. My last adventure of the year happened quite recently. I got to go to the Aquaman premiere. I packed my bags, I packed my suit, I travelled to London, and it was just a fantastic day. I met with some fellow bloggers, Kibla, I met with Tasmin, the aspiring Kryptonian, I met Paul from DC World. The whole day was just surreal. We got to go to a before party. I met James Wan, the director, and we had a brief chat, and speaking with him and just listening him talk about the movie and his passion for film and story making was an absolute treat. All the bloggers that were there, we couldn't believe our luck. It was just a very surreal moment. We were happy just to be in this room with actual costumes from the movies. We kept on sort of pinching ourselves, and we couldn't believe that we were there. And to think that, you know, in about an hour's time after this party, we would be going to the world premiere of Aquaman. Luckily, we all got to go in the same car, which was fantastic, which drove us from the hotel to Leicester Square, where the movie was going to premiere. When we got there, we were all very excited, and then we walked the blue carpet. It was amazing. It was a fantastic experience to walk on that carpet and then go into the cinema. As I went in, I was met with the biggest screen I'd ever seen in my life. And before the film began, it was introduced by the cast of Aquaman, including James Wan. Jason Momoa was there, and Amber Heard was there, and Dolph Lundgren was there, and Patrick Wilson was there. I couldn't believe I was there and in that moment. So I'm so happy that I have videos and photographs to prove that I was actually there and not dreaming. And after that, we got to see the film, and it just blew me away. Easily my film of the year. The visuals, the action, everything made me happy. Once the movie was over and I was still on cloud nine, I began writing my review there and then. I was asked to give a quote to Warner Brothers UK. I think I had about 15 or 20 quotes to use. But the quote I gave in the end: watch this film on the biggest screen you can. That's all I can remember about the movie, is that my eyes were just looking at every single thing. And a few days later, I was coming back to reality, and I saw that Warner Brothers used my quote on some of their promotional adverts, and I had to pinch myself because my name, the Geek of Steel, was associated with this movie, which is now the #1 movie in the world, and it was insane. As the movie got closer to being released, I featured on some more adverts and posters and a bus stop. I'll throw up a picture of that because that was just completely bizarre. I spotted it and I ran over to it. I tried taking some selfies, but then I asked a young lady who was waiting for a bus if she wouldn't mind taking a photograph of me next to my name. Yeah, that was my final adventure of the year, and another one that would be very hard to beat. So yes, those were some of my highlights of 2018. This book is filled with memories that I made this year, and there's still room for lots more to be written in this book. I made a promise to myself to try and creep out of my comfort zone and say yes to as many opportunities as I could. I'm just very grateful for a fantastic year, and I'm grateful for everyone that has allowed me to share my adventures. It's always been my goal to take you all along with me when I go on these adventures, and I get enjoyment out of sharing them with you. And without you, I wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you to all of you, because, you know, I've said it before, the internet isn't always the most friendliest of places, and that's why it is my mission to make my pages to be as positive and friendly and welcoming as possible. 2019, I've got a few things planned already, but who knows what it will bring. I'm going to go into 2019 with a very open and positive attitude. The Geek of Steel is not going anywhere. There's room in this journal for more memories, and I can't wait to start making more. I'm Luke, the Geek of Steel. Thank you for watching, and thank you for letting me share my adventures with you. Have a good day, and I'll be back soon.